Yo, what is up, guys? We are back with another episode on the Netflix review tube for Daredevil Season 3. It was quite the season. The main theme, honestly, of Daredevil Season 3 was actually the recovery theme.
I used to listen to people asking for help. That's what I was trying to do, was help people.
I have made many mistakes. You really are. Someone who's now showing his true colors. Who are you?
The fact that, for those of you, if you haven't watched The Defenders on Netflix, maybe watch that first, then you'll get into, Daredevil Season 3. But where it kind of picks up is right after the events of that. Season 3 of Daredevil definitely starts off with the recovery and the absence of Matt Murdock, obviously the blind lawyer of Hell's Kitchen, by night, Daredevil. Go figure. So there's a lot of tension between Foggy Nelson and Karen Page, and Kingpin is still obsessed with his love, Vanessa, throughout the season, trying to do what's best for her, promising that he will change his ways, but honestly never really does. That's another big aspect of that whole season. You see bits and pieces of it, but more so to come. I think the big picture is Bullseye. So obviously Bullseye in the comics, or not even in the comics, more so even just in the series, he goes by the name of Ben Poindexter. That's probably one of his few alter aliases. Some people have called him Dax. In this series, most people call him Dex. As kind of the season develops, we get a more of an in-depth, picture of who Ben is, who Dex is, and obviously he becomes, Bullseye. Bullseye, for those of you who don't know, most of you should. But just in case you don't, not a super villain with powers. He doesn't really have powers, but he has definitely the super ability to be intriguingly accurate, fiercely accurate with anything lethal that he can use as a projectile. It can be like a pencil, or it can be an M&M. God forbid it's a fucking M&M again. It could be a throwing knife, it can be a gun to the head, it can be anything, literally anything in his surrounding area. He's definitely working with the FBI, but how he becomes and develops and revolutionizes himself into the Bullseye role is the fact that a little bit of the help of Kingpin, a little bit of his, definitely has some thoughts here and there. He doesn't feel like he's greatly appreciated, and that adds to his, his motto to kind of become Bullseye. When he's trying to become more known and better respected, it takes a turn, and he's not really looked upon as someone that he wants to be. So he's kind of offered a chance after a couple accidents happen, or maybe not accidents, maybe so on purpose, out of his uncontrollable emotions. He just kind of binds himself to the role of Bullseye. And honestly, that's kind of what happens. He's got super fast reflexes. He's got great intellectual, and he's not a bad marksman. But nonetheless, he does have superior capabilities to anybody to be intriguingly accurate. Played by Wilson Bethel. May I say that's actually a good casting choice there. So that was kind of impressive in itself. But throughout the season, we kind of see that Matt Murdock is definitely recovering. He gets in contact and assisted in a church, actually by the person he was formerly adopted by, Sister Maggie, who was a nun, and she definitely, throughout the whole season, we kind of see like a rebirth of him becoming the Daredevil again. Honestly, he kind of reunites with those raggedy black material to put on instead of the regular Daredevil customs that we are used to. Unfortunately, I miss those, but we do see Dex use those fabrics throughout the season. mostly to impersonate him. Probably at about, episode 6, 7, it starts to take that turn. Dex goes from good guy to confused to his identity is just shape-shifted all over the place. And the way they demonstrate that is by all means phenomenal. The way they can follow the comics fairly accurate, add their own twist to avoid any rights issues, and throw him into the mix to tag team with Kingpin, even though that relationship in itself does also not last. Karen mostly sticks to her reporter duties on the side with helping Foggy. She also makes this interesting choice to, having the belief that Matt Murdock is alive. Most people do not know he's alive not until about episode 6 or 7. And if anyone does, which you guys would have to see, it's only a couple people. But he does come back. He kind of rebuilds himself. He retrains himself in a church with some identity issues. He's got a very strict vendetta for God based on what has happened to him. Why is this happening to him? That sort of thing, that sort of revelation. And to build himself back up, to train himself so he can stop Kingpin once again, who is not only in love with Vanessa, but also the fact that he is trying to manipulate his surroundings and kind of have the world out of his own mindset. On top of that, you have the new introduced Bullseye/Dex, who's causing a problem and posing as Daredevil, making people want to hate Daredevil for the good things that he has done for Hell's Kitchen in New York City at this current place in time. But as that continues on, we kind of see that about episode 8, 9-ish, if I can remember correctly, that he reunites with Foggy. He definitely gets into the mix back with Karen. They find out he's alive. She's definitely not paying rent for a dead man, thank God. They work off those and come up with a plan to stop the main villains. Go figure. That's expected, but nonetheless not any less satisfying. Daredevil gets into a final scuffle with the Kingpin and Bullseye in itself after they've all figured out, Foggy, Karen, Matt, who Bullseye is. Dex, ex-FBI agent, took a turn, made some bad decisions, developed and repercussed into the role of Bullseye. That is what happened there. Matt Murdock almost kills Kingpin. He has the full-on decision to do that. Things have gotten so bad, he makes the decision to almost do that. He does not do it. And in fact, that allows a big shift of character. He realizes, I'm not going to cross that line to becoming a full-on villain. I'm not going to kill you like you want me to, but I will stop you. And that is the mindset of Daredevil at that point in time. Doing so also sees that he needs to not only realize that Matt is not going to kill him, but he needs to now stop his several-time betrayed partner, Dex, Bullseye, which is trying to also assassinate Vanessa. And he does not like that, obviously. He definitely comes up with a counteraction to that, and he takes Bullseye, picks him up, and thrashes his back into a corner, hence breaking his spine. That's pretty much how Bullseye is stopped. A lot of good fight scenes, a lot of good acting. I like the casting. There wasn't a hard time finding out what was what. I like the recovery theme. I like the fact that every character grew up. Every character had something else to do within the same duties of what they were originally, have done in the comics, or what they were originally kind of pawning off in the very first season. Towards the ending, we also see a happy gathering with Matt, Foggy, and Karen. That is actually kind of a heartwarming thing. A heartwarming theme at the end there. I like the fact that they get back together. They were able to have laughs, and they come back with the idea to, hey, maybe we should go back to the whole law firm thing. Karen, if you want to be a journalist, go ahead. You can still do it, but we want to invite you as a full-time partner for Nelson and Murdock. There wasn't a lot to dislike. We're gonna give it an A. I'm trying to get I'm trying to diversify with the grades here, but it's a hard job. That's just how good Daredevil is. And with that A, it's because, like I said, we got a character we've never seen before. We got it in a show that's doing well. And I hope to see him again in season 4. Not only did we get a great story, but we got a theme that kind of separates from every other season. A renewal process, a recovery from Matt Murdock, who encounters only very few other characters that allow him to rise up and be better than he was before, if that. But he's a weaker Daredevil. So we're not seeing the biggest and baddest and toughest and fastest Daredevil. We're seeing one who has to overcome a lot, has gone through some shiitake mushrooms, and it's still going through them. So the fact that we have that, we have the side characters, Karen and Foggy, doing a lot of groundwork, like more than we've ever seen in this season, in my opinion. I think that really adds on to a nice flavor for season 3. And, I hope this ain't the last season, but to kind of fast forward a little bit, I also like the story. The story is a big part. They executed on it very well. After Dex was injured from his broken spine that Kingpin has caused him, which was also done in the comics. That's good. I like that. He was being operated by a Dr. Oyama. Lord Darkwind is who he is, and he hires Bullseye. After being a surgeon that he is, infuses adamantium. It wasn't called adamantium in this season because of copyright issues, so they called it cogmium metal or cogmium steel. The cogmium steel was infused into his spine. There was a couple doubts that the procedure would not work and it would paralyze Dex. So with that being said, obviously they were trying to make him into something more indestructible so he can pose as a better threat to society and a better hired gun, being an assassin that he is. Within maybe even season 4. Hopefully we get that in season 4. Hopefully we see more of Oyama to portray a more of a amplified role of Lord Darkwind and the creator of an adamantium or cogmium steel. I would like that. I think we would all like that. And to add more of a different twist again in season 4. No confirmation yet, but hopefully one day we will get that. If not, well, it's been a nice ride. I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Like it up, subscribe, thumbs up, flex it out, whatever you guys do in all things justice. Hit that bell button, hit that like button. Comment below, let me know what you guys think of the video. Let me know what you guys think about the season. I know you guys take care. I'll catch you guys on the next video, and stay safe.